So one is that, because without the support, I don't think so you can do everything by yourself. You know, one person can't possibly do everything. Do not socialize a lot, but I love to talk to people. That is another part of this, where you talk to a lot of people and you get perspectives, then you get your ideas exchanged and stuff like that. Gratification that you get from when people tells you that, you know what, we attended a really, really good event is something else. An event manager needs to have an idea about each and every single part of the event, from sound to light, if not everything, but at least the basic, where you can actually explain to a sound engineer, for example, or maybe to a light designer.
Now, just like moving on from everything we've done, I think we all spoke about the moments that made us feel like, oh, how are we going to move forward? But we did, and we still love it, right?
Yeah.
So, sir, I'd love to ask you and start with you, of course. Like, after you knew what you were getting yourself into, right? After the endless hours, the chaos, the endless to-do lists that you have to do even today,
Right.
what is it about the event industry that you love, that you still, that keeps you going? What is that one thing?
Oh, I do not have just one thing. I have a lot of things, in fact.
We'd love to hear all of them.
So the first thing first is my teammates. You know, they've been so supportive. They've been so they were always there, and they still are, to be honest. So one is that, because without the support, I don't think so you can do everything by yourself. You know, one person can't possibly do everything. Second is, although I'm a little bit of I am I do not socialize a lot, but I love to talk to people. That is another part of this, where you talk to a lot of people and you get perspectives, then you get your ideas exchanged and stuff like that. Those are another part of it. And then the other part of it is, of course, if the event is successful, then, the
100%.
money.
At the end of the day, oh yeah,
The
yeah.
money, and then the...
I'd love to get into that in just a
Yes.
moment. Yeah, 100%.
The gratification that you get from when people tells you that, you know what, we attended a really, really good event is something else.
100%.
Nothing can beat that.
100%.
You know?
100%.
Well, those are at least three of the good things that I can tell you. There are so many good things.
But the top three would be this.
These are the top three. Nothing can
100%.
beat that.
I absolutely
Yeah.
fully agree. And coming to the last point that you said, the different ways that you can make someone feel something or curate an experiences, curate an experience for them are definitely many. But I don't think a lot of people are actually aware of the kind of opportunities that this industry holds. So I would love for you to maybe shed some light on the different pathways and the different opportunities that are there in the, sea of things that one can do in the event industry.
Right. So you see, event industry as a whole is a holistic
Yeah.
industry, right? Because let's say you're an event manager.
Yeah.
An event manager needs to have an idea about each and every single part of the event, from sound to light, if not everything, but at least the basic, where you can actually explain to a sound engineer, for example, or maybe to a light designer, for example. You can explain to them what you want and what you need, because you cannot depend on someone else to do that for you, right? You will be hiring a lot of people in between. But then these are the things that, can teach you a lot, in fact, in the for the process of event management. So there are lots of verticals where you can learn. It's not just one thing. So event management as a whole teaches you a lot about sound, light, your backstage management, your artist management for that matter. Then you have your crowd management, right? Your FOH, security for that matter. So it teaches you a lot. There's a whole list that we can actually name for
100%.
everyone to experience. So
100%.
each and everyone needs to know about the services that they're going to provide, right? F&B for that matter, which is a very important part of event. So each and every vertical needs to be, you can either learn them separately or you either come to event management and then learn them all together at the same time.
100%. I'd love to understand just a little bit more on this. For example, say when we are exploring an event management agency for a wedding. So, an event management agency that does a wedding would be a different event management agency that would do my BTL or ATL activities.
Right.
So, you could like maybe give me a little more like detail on what exactly are those opportunities as well. Like, it is it limited to, or like not limited to a particular genre? Can an event management agency who does fashion show also pull off a national conference? Or like, are there categories for that?
Okay, I don't think so. I would like to categorize things like that, because just so that the crux of an event is the same, right? It's just how we present it. It's different from each other. Otherwise, the prep, the hard work that goes into it is all the same. So for me, I don't really see it that way. I see it, any agency that can do an event can do any other event. Yes, nowadays we have the categorization, we have specializations, in
Right.
fact, which is really good, because then you can tailor your specifications. Let's say, a client may come with a specific desire, or maybe whatever. So what happens is that when you have those specializations, then you are able to cater just to that client. But I would also add that it would be better that if we have other verticals as well when it comes to event management, because it's very easier for, let's say, a client to come in and say that, you know what, in my event I need this, this, this. Maybe there's a segregation in their desires, right, or wants, and we should be able to fulfill that. I believe that I should not send a client empty handed. I should have something for the client where the client can say, oh, all right, I can find it under one roof.
100%.
So for me, that is much more important than any categorization. But I don't see anything wrong in categorization as well.
100%.
So it's a benefit,
I
to
get
be
it.
honest.
And I also believe that, the different, the correct word to use it, like you said, the specializations that the
Yeah.
event management industry has branched out into, and say we've given different names to it, has been more recent than not, right? So, what was the journey like for you when you began more than 20 years ago, I'm sure, with the experiences that you've had? How did that journey begin for you? And what was that inclination that you had that made you choose the event management agency? Was it a specialization? Was it, something, a feeling? Was it something you experienced? Yeah.
For me, it's definitely not specialization. For me, it's an on ground learning, right? So I started out as, I would rather say, as a stylist for a couple of magazines, that, fashion magazines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I stumbled into so many other things in between. And then I landed at events. First thing first, fashion shows, fashion weeks, and fashion events. So then I became a show director, as in fashion show director.
Yeah.
I direct fashion shows and stuff like that. So that that process created a curiosity in me, as in, what is my limit? And then I started
Truly
networking.
endless.
Yeah, I started networking and stuff like that, and then I started getting events, small events first, and then of course it goes up from there. So I was like, okay, you know what? For me, sky is the limit. I can test myself as much as I want, because I decide what I want to do, and then of course it's the client who want me, whether they want me or not. But then I decide whether I want to do it or not. I decide whether I am able to do it or not. My capabilities and abilities are all me. So then I decided that, okay, fine, I will go ahead with this. Then like they say, you climbed the ladder. And then I ended up with a lot of government events. So initially, I started with corporate events, and corporate events, seriously, it's, I won't say that they are bad, but they're not my cup of tea. Because there are lots of things that does not align with me. you know. So I ended up with the government, especially with the government of Meghalaya, and we have been associated for a very, very long time. So in my 28 years of career, a good 15, 20 years has been with the government,
100%.
you know. And the reason is that, you know, we are able to connect, because when it comes to government events, you have a lot of cultural events, you know, in that main event, and then you have entertainment, then you have fashion, then you have this. So I get the whole to experience the whole thing. So for me, that is one of the things that attracted me more towards events. And now looking back, I was like, you know what, it was a good decision that I made, jumping ship from just fashion show direction and then doing full-fledged events, because it's really, really gratifying.
100%,
Really
100%.
gratifying.
And very interesting to know that you started out in fashion and then you stumbled upon events. It was like you were meant to find it, you know, in
Destined
a
to
certain
be.
way or not. And moving on, or like adding to that as well, what was the landscape like when you began? What was the landscape like when you landed your first project? I'm sure, like I was telling you, the landscape has expanded
Yes.
phenomenally now. But like, what was it like then? Was event management as an industry known and established? Because today it truly is. You know, every other Tuesday or Wednesday, if we want to go to a comedy show, we know it's an event that we're going to.
Right.
Every other weekend, we want to go to a concert. Oh, which event do you want to go
Yeah.
to? We've given it a label. Any activity that we end up doing is curated by someone and we know it. We're just giving it different names. We're calling it maybe a show, a concert, a place to hang out, maybe just a gathering, still an event.
It's still
But
an
like,
event.
what was this landscape like before?
It was different, very different. I don't think so. We've had the kind of structure that we have now. Now it's pretty much structured. And with the technology, with everything else in between, it's much more, I find it easier, let me say. I had to learn it because I started at the time when there was not too much of technology happening, you know. We had to do everything manually. Even, you know, calling a person at backstage, you
Yeah.
had to run from the, you know, from the front to the back to just call a
My
person.
God.
Or else you need to shout.
Oh my God. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
can
yeah.
you please come? You know, all that. So we don't have the walkie-talkies and stuff like that. When I started out, it came a little later. So that was tough. I mean, like
Can't
looking.
imagine a world without walkie-talkies in today's event landscape.
Actually,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Can you imagine? I started at that time, and now I can't even imagine the same.
You can't? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not at all. You know, so phones were very limited anyway. Not everybody has got a phone. You know, so we had to manually go and call people, and then we had to do almost everything manually, except for the technologies. I mean, technologies in the sense that your sound, your lights,
Sound
and
and
all, yeah,
music. Yeah,
those
yeah,
are
yeah. Got it.
different, you know, altogether. But apart from that, it was, and like I said, even though it's that, but it's a different experience. Actually, you know, it builds us up when you learn through, like from the grassroots. It builds you up. Like I said, resilience, patience, and everything. It does build you.
100%. 100%.
So when you have all these technology now, it's just, for me, it's a bonus. I mean, like, obviously it's a boon, but for me it's a bonus, as in, you know, now I can do more. Now I can do more. You know, so these are the things that I wouldn't say disadvantage for me, because I count every experience that I have. I always count it as an advantage, a lesson to learn. You know, I have never had anything negative to say about any event, be it my event or anyone else's event. I don't have anything negative to say, because I know what kind of an effort goes into making it.
100%. Yeah.
And before, like you said, in the earlier days, it's much more harder to even get in touch with someone. You know, it's hard. But again, like I said, it's a lesson. So for me, either way, best.
I
love
love
it.
that. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And after such an illustrious career, curating all of these events and experiencing all of these different things. Number one, I think the first takeaway from there is that you never know where the industry is going to go. Today, we can't imagine a world without walkie-talkies, but in 20 years, we never know how the landscape is going to be like then. What are some of the common mistakes that these students end up making when they're actually doing their job?
First thing first is not concentrating on your briefing, because your briefing, when you go for any event, your briefing is the most important thing. One event to the other, you'll never experience the same.
I think I have learned better communication, and I always feel that I am a good leader.
I have learned like how to manage time, like time management. I've learned.
How to be punctual.
Yeah.
You need to know your worth, do your best, and just go with the flow.